Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here, with Malik, curators of the Exploration Archive. We left the first ascent of Everest last time, and as the climbers prepared for the final ascent, the air thickened with tension. Today we pick up where we left off. They called it the Icefall, a harsh realm of moving architecture, where nature is both architect and executioner. The rhythm of the mountain was visible yet deadly. Blocks of ice the size of houses leaned precariously, grinding against one another in a constant battle. Crossing it meant embracing unpredictability. Seracs could topple without warning, and snow-bridged crevices waited, ready to swallow a man whole. We learned quickly that to traverse this landscape was to dance with danger, and history, like ice, can shift in an instant.
And yet, Aurelius, this unpredictability wasn't just a physical challenge. It represented the heart of risk. Each step across that ice was not merely a test of skill. It was a gamble with life itself. Climbers were faced with constant decisions about where to place their trust, both in equipment and in each other.
To cross the Icefall was to navigate a chaotic landscape, where every step brought a new challenge. One moment you'd find yourself on hard knife-edge ice that felt like walking on glass, and the next your boot would disappear into soft snow, completely swallowing it whole. This constant variability kept the climbers on edge, reminding them that each shift in the terrain could mean the difference between stability and disaster, a harsh lesson in the unpredictable nature of both ice and history.
Those textures hid a deeper truth. The Icefall was a living entity, shifting and changing daily. Every morning brought a fresh landscape, filled with both danger and opportunity. Climbers had to adapt, not just in skill but in their mindset too. It was a harsh reminder that nature's unpredictability didn't just challenge them physically. It demanded their respect. Each new day carved out stories of triumph and loss, reminding us all of the human cost of chasing these dreams.
The work was precise and physical. Teams threaded lines across unstable slopes, chopped steps where the ice was too smooth to grip, and lashed aluminum ladders over yawning chasms. Every movement was calculated. Anchors were hammered into blue ice, pitons tested by weight. This was not just climbing. It was a race against the mountain's temperament.
But there was another side to this story. The physical effort these climbers endured was immense, yet it was the mental strain that often broke them. Fatigue, anxiety, and fear weighed heavily. A single miscalculation could lead to catastrophe, and yet they pressed on, driven by the summit's elusive promise. It wasn't just about reaching the top.
One morning, under the shadow of a towering serac, a small group worked to traverse the ice. Breath condensed into visible puffs, ropes creaked, and crampons bit into rhyme with a metallic rasp. Each sound became a part of the mountain's symphony, a reminder of their perilous journey. Then, a thunderous collapse of ice above interrupted their work.
That collapse wasn't just noise. It echoed through the air, a stark reminder of their vulnerability. The mountain held power that couldn't be negotiated with, and it showed no mercy. The porters flinched, their shoulders tensing, bracing for an order that might never come. In that moment, they felt the crushing weight of the mountain's presence, its indifference to their struggles. It was a humbling experience, one that made them painfully aware of how small they really were in the face of nature's might.
One of the earliest discoveries was the viability of the Western CWM. This bowl-like amphitheater provided a crucial shelter from the harsh winds that could sweep across the landscape. However, it posed dangers of its own. By day, the CWM basked in sunlight, inviting exploration, but at night, it turned treacherous. The thermal cycle made walking hazardous, with temperatures dropping rapidly. Every day brought new challenges, reminding us that nature often tests our resolve in unexpected ways.
And those challenges were compounded by the climbers' expectations. They weren't just facing the mountain. They were battling their own fears and desires. Each step was a struggle, not just against the elements but against their inner demons. It wasn't merely about ascension. It was about survival, and proving something to themselves. Each climber had to confront their limits, and each carried a backstory of dreams and ambitions that added weight to their journey, shaping their experience in profound ways.
To reach the South Col from the lower camps, we faced a vertical puzzle that tested our resolve. The Lhotse face presented a steep route upward, but it demanded serious labor. Each trip hauling supplies up that frozen gradient was a lesson in understanding the mountain's temperament. With every rotation, we learned more about risk, adapting our strategies and instincts. It was a constant reminder that nature doesn't bend easily, and neither do those who dare to challenge it.
Yet, this learning came at a cost. Equipment that worked perfectly at sea level struggled in the thin air of the mountains. A frozen oxygen regulator forced climbers to rethink their strategies on the fly. They had to improvise repairs, juggling tools and parts like precious treasures, conserving supplies as if every breath truly mattered. It was a delicate balancing act that revealed just how fragile human endurance can be when faced with nature's relentless fury.
And as the climbers prepared for the final ascent, the air thickened with tension. Decisions loomed large, weighing heavily on everyone involved. Who would take that next step into the unknown? The stakes extended far beyond the summit. They encompassed lives, reputations, and the very legacy of their journey. A single courageous or disastrous attempt could carve a path for those who followed, shaping not just their fates but also the narrative we tell about ambition and risk.
That's where we leave it this time. The first ascent of Everest continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Exploration Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.